Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we're looking at, well, it's kind of a tough situation, right? Pensioners in the UK, dealing with rising costs and everything.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, especially when you add in health issues on top of everything else. The cost of living is one thing, but when you have something like, cancer treatment and all the extra expenses that come with that.
Exactly. And we've got a few articles here that really highlight this. They paint a pretty clear picture of how some folks are falling through the cracks, even with the systems that are supposed to be there to help them.
Yeah, I think that's what makes these stories so powerful. It's not just about numbers and statistics. It's about real people struggling with real problems.
Right. Okay, so before we get into the individual stories, let's set the stage a bit for our listeners.
Okay.
Can you just give us a quick rundown of the whole fuel poverty situation in the UK?
Yeah.
Why is this such a big deal right now?
Sure. So basically, fuel poverty is when a household can't afford to heat their home properly. It's been a problem in the UK for a while now, but it's getting worse, especially with energy prices going up, up, up. And, well, we're heading into winter, right? That's when heating becomes absolutely essential.
Yeah, no kidding. Nobody wants to be freezing in their own home. So these articles we've got, they talk about folks like Anna and Margaret, pensioners who are missing out on these crucial fuel support payments by practically nothing, just a few pounds here and there. What's the story there?
So it comes down to this thing called the winter fuel allowance.
Right.
It's designed to help people cover heating costs.
Makes sense.
But it's often tied to getting pension credit, which is this other benefit for people on low incomes. So here's the catch. If you have even a little bit of income from a private pension, it can bump you up just slightly above the limit for pension credit.
Oh, I see.
So you end up not qualifying for either.
So wait, you're telling me that saving for retirement could actually make it harder to get by? That seems backwards.
It is. It's this thing called a benefits cliff. You earn a bit more and suddenly, boom, you lose access to a bunch of support. It's like being penalized for trying to be a little more financially secure.
That's crazy. And these articles point out that it's hitting people with cancer particularly hard. What's the connection there?
Well, think about it. Cancer treatment can really mess with your body's ability to regulate temperature. So for folks going through chemo or other treatments, keeping warm isn't just about comfort. It's crucial for their health. Being cold can actually make their condition worse.
Makes sense. Like adding insult to injury.
Exactly. And there's this charity, Maggie's. They do amazing work supporting people with cancer. They're saying they've seen this massive spike in requests for help with benefits.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're helping people claim millions of pounds in benefits they didn't even know about. One of their advisors, Zoe Winters, I think her name was, she was saying that a cancer diagnosis just throws all these extra costs at you.
Yeah.
Travel for treatment, special diets, and higher utility bills.
Right. And missing out on those fuel payments just piles on the pressure.
Absolutely. It's a real double whammy.
So what's the government doing about all of this? The articles mention some support measures, right? What are they, and do they actually address this benefits cliff problem?
Right. So they've got the state pension triple lock. It guarantees that pensions increase at least in line with inflation, earnings, or 2.5%, whichever is highest. That's something. And there's the warm home discount, which is a one-off payment to help with energy bills. And then there's the household support fund, which is more general help with the cost of living.
Sounds like there's some effort being made, but I'm not sure I'm hearing anything that directly tackles that benefits cliff issue.
Yeah, that's the big question. While these programs are definitely helpful, they don't stop people from falling off that cliff in the first place.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. Some folks are arguing for decoupling the winter fuel allowance from pension credit, making it available to more pensioners. Others are suggesting maybe a more gradual decrease in benefits as income goes up, ease that cliff a bit.
Yeah, soften the blow.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we've certainly learned a lot today. I think this deep dive has really exposed a real flaw in the system. There's help available, but it's not quite reaching everyone who needs it, especially those dealing with cancer on top of everything else.
I agree. And it's a tough one, right? Because these programs are meant to help, but they're creating these unintended consequences that are hurting the very people they're supposed to support.
Yeah, a real catch-22. So as we wrap up, is there anything else you think our listeners should be thinking about?
I think it's worth taking a step back and considering, are there other benefits cliffs out there? We've focused on fuel support in cancer patients, but are there similar traps in other areas? Like healthcare or housing or childcare? And what are the bigger implications for society if these gaps in support keep widening?
That's a great point. Definitely something to ponder.
Yeah, some food for thought.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and thanks as always for your expertise.
My pleasure.
See you all next time.